Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Kessler, and I want to share with you some technologies that I use in my practice that may be very helpful for you. And what I specialize in is something called unresolved issues, right? These are people that have been from one practitioner to another, and they're not able to figure it out. So I have a lot of tools in my practice to do that, and the Asyra happens to be one of those tools. And so what we're looking at is customized wellness programs that is unique to your individual chemistry, genetics, and environment. We're all different, and we really want to be able to look at your unique biochemistry, your unique genetics, and how the environment, what you eat, what you think, how you live, is affecting your health. And again, the Asyra is a phenomenal tool for picking some of these things up. So I like to always say that one size does not fit all. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's say you have all three of these people here and they have the same condition, but the cause is different. So let's say they have rheumatoid arthritis. And when you look at this person over here, patient number one, some of what's going on with them has a lot to do with going on in their gut with candida overgrowth, and maybe they have mold toxins that are affecting them, as opposed to patient number two who has dental infections in his teeth and his jaw, maybe mercury fillings are in there and off-gassing mercury, and there's other things going on, which I'm not going to go into at this time. And in this patient number three, they have excess histamine. They're they don't have the enzymes to break down the histamine in their food, and they're producing lots of histamine reactions in their body, and they're really sensitive to gluten. That's causing lots of inflammation. So for everybody out here, or anybody who comes in with a specific condition, the causes are going to be completely different. The beautiful thing about the Asyra, it's looking at that individuality here. And same with all my other testing that I do in my office. We really need to be good detectives to figure that out. And here's another one. Why can't I heal my body? Well, the body has the ability to repair itself when you remove the obstacles. And the key is to figuring out what those obstacles are. And in this case, this big obstacle here is environmental toxins, inherited weaknesses that I see, passed down from family to family, or genetic weaknesses that I see when I do the genetic testing that I do, poor lifestyle, unresolved emotional conflicts. So all these kind of things are obstacles, and we're going to be using our Asyra technology to find out what those are. A lot of people come into my office over the years with bags and bags of nutrients, vitamins, homeopathics, right? And so I have here, I am super stressed. How do I know what to take? Vitamin C, vitamin B, zinc, melatonin, or maybe a homeopathic testosterone or herbal hawthorn berry. Maybe these things will help me or not. What should I do? So this is a sea of unknown possibilities. And the beautiful thing is we're going to be able to take the Asyra reading and find out exactly what your body wants at that particular time. Very specific. Another thing that's really important is which layer of the onion does the body want to deal with first? So, it's really a question of where do you start with anybody? And the Asyra is really good at figuring that out. So you may have something going on with you that you need to be, that you go, well, I need that to be addressed right now. But maybe the body says, no, it's not ready to deal with that right now. It wants to deal with this layer first. And so there are many layers of possible reasons that create dysresonance and confusion in the body's ability to direct and transmit information within the body. So you got to understand that the body is a sea of information. Things are communicating between cell to cell. This is all going on every second, right? These things are happening. And sometimes, just like a computer that's not working, some parts of that communication may be in dysresonance, not working properly. And the Asyra is very good at figuring out what what that is, and sometimes it wants to take the layer that's going to clean up some of that noise so we have better communication, so we can go to the deeper and deeper layers, okay? And this is just a small list of some of the things that we're testing in the Asyra. So you could look down here: fungal signatures, food sensitivities, things that have to do with bacterial signatures. So we're looking at a lot of information here. And we're going to explain what these colors mean as we go a little bit further in our little workshop here. So here's where all this started when we talk about the Asyra and the roots of what we call EAV. And you're going, what is EAV? So EAV is electrical acupuncture according to Vol. Some people call this type of testing electrodermal screening. There's a lot of different names for it. Bioenergetic testing. Any way you look at it, here it is. Traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic, and other practices have long known that energy and information flow through the body along highly organized pathways. And this pioneer, Dr. Reinhard Voll, in the 1950s, figured out that he could measure these things. So he found that he could measure these energy meridians by measuring small electrical changes at acupuncture points. And these are what some of the technologies looked like at that time. So let me explain that a little bit. So he would measure a point on, say, an acupuncture point that in, say, your Asyra test shows red here, and that's the adrenal glands, and it says 72, right? And so he had a scale, he had a little meter. When he measured those points, those acupuncture points for all these different organs that you see here on the Asyra, he would put a little bit of voltage, a little current in there, and measure electrical resistance to electrical flow here. And then it would show up on a meter. And 50 would be balanced energy to that particular organ system. And if it went past 50, like in this case where we see red on this Asyra reading 72, it means there's excess energy there. So in Chinese medicine, they call it stagnation. In Western medicine, they may call that an inflammatory system that's going on in that particular organ system. And if we go down here and we see yellow, and this number is very low here, this pituitary gland resonance, that's going this way, 20 in the 20 range here, very little energy. Deficiency, they would say in Chinese medicine, of that particular organ, and just complete weakness in that particular system. So we want to strengthen. And when we look at the Asyra, we can see the green here. So it found a remedy to balance that. And in all these different imbalances, when it shows green here, it means it found something to balance that. And then what the Asyra will do is it's going to take all the remedies together and make sure they work and they're compatible together, or it will try that particular remedy and find another one. It's very, very unique. So here's a little more on the history of electrical acupuncture according to Voll. Voll's single most amazing discovery really was that the body will unconsciously respond to the mere proximity of a remedy, toxin, nutrient, or pathogen without ever touching or ingesting it. So just putting it in or near the body. So how can that be? Because we have something called the autonomic nervous system. You know, when we talk about the autonomic nervous system here, it could be also called the automatic nervous system, because you don't think about your heart beating and oh, I forgot to breathe. All this is done automatically. And this system is very unique in that it goes beyond your senses. It's going to pick up anything within its field here, and it will make changes. It makes changes in electrical in the skin resistance that could be picked up when Dr. Voll was measuring the resistance at the meridian. It could be picked up in somebody who's really good at measuring pulses. They could and puts a remedy in circuit. It's called they could see changes in the vascular tone, measuring the pulse. A lot of different ways to pick things up. And so your organs and glands are under the involuntary control of your autonomic nervous system. So it's really about the autonomic nervous system being able to pick up anything in its proximity and then making changes on the skin surface and on the circulation. Okay. So the roots of EAV in the hands of a skilled, well-trained practitioner, these devices often yielded valuable clinical insights. But they were highly operator dependent and required the use of thousands of test files. When I say operator dependent, because if you pushed a little harder on that point, you could kind of influence it, right? And you needed a lot of remedies. Like I used to have a whole, those who know me used to see all those test files that I used to have, right? So by the 1970s, engineers in Europe and the US began to experiment with new and advanced applications of Vol's original concepts. You can see some of these other technologies that branched off. A lot of different technologies were developed in Europe after Dr. Vol discovered that you could measure these points and then test the remedies. So the major goals sought by these next generation devices included, greater clinical accuracy, elimination of physical test vials, point-free testing, and over time, many new systems offered various improvements. But the holy grail of energy testing remained out of reach. Until now, really. And with Asyra, you get total operator independence, objective consistent results, unsurpassed accuracy, the ability to test patient samples, saliva, urine, hair, and nails from a distance, which we're doing with a lot of you, an ability to imprint custom remedies that create increased balance and improve information flow and communication within the body. So here's a lot of written text here, but you'll have this video and you could pause it and look at the directions, but this is the instructions for hair, urine, nails, and saliva and how to collect it. So I'm just going to read it real quickly here. Hair collection. Preferable method, cut a small amount of hair close to the root of the neck area, or alternative method, hair collected from the fallout while washing or brushing is acceptable, right? So you collect all that stuff in your brush, placed collected sample in a Ziploc bag labeled hair sample, and record your name, birth date, and collection date on the label provided. We haven't provided you with, just put it on a piece of paper and put it in the Ziploc, okay? Urine collection. First time you urinate after 3 o'clock a.m. that first morning, collect some urine on the Q-tip, and we didn't provide it for you yet, but you just take your own Q-tip, place the collected sample in a separate Ziploc bag labeled urine sample, and record your name, birth, and collection date on the label provided. Okay, so the next one would be nail collection. Cut some fingernails and toenails, place the clippings on a separate Ziploc bag labeled nail collection. Saliva collection. First thing in the morning, before eating, drinking, or brushing your teeth, swab the inside of your mouth with a Q-tip. Place the collected sample in a Ziploc bag labeled saliva sample and record your name, birth date, and collection date on the label provided. Okay. I'm also going to email you a questionnaire, a health appraisal questionnaire, so you can answer some of these questions for me, because I want to be able to see over time that all your symptoms and the things that you're complaining of are improving, right? So that's a good thing to have. So please fill out the health appraisal questionnaire. We can use the questionnaire to track progress. And by the way, I repeat this again, but my Skype, I like, if you can and you Skype with me, I'll show you the actual test, and we could meet kind of face to face on Skype, because I can share my screen with you. And I think that's a great way to be able to show you your test. I'll send you your reports, but it's just great to have you there, and I can talk with you and show you what I think is up for you. Okay, and this is my email here. So the dr.mkessler is the Skype. This is my email. You can always email me, and always call me. You can always call me. Okay. So here's some more important information, because I'm going to be making you a customized remedy. So the homeopathic remedy will carry specific information, either a trace mineral solution or a lymphatic drainage solution that is imprinted with a specific frequency waveforms designed to work on your specific imbalances found in the Asyra. That's kind of a handful. But basically, we're going to place the remedy, the lymphatic drainage, or the trace mineral solution on the Asyra, and it's going to send out a frequency wave pattern of all the things that you tested for that will be imprinted into the water, because water holds information. It's not just water, but it's also in this lymphatic drainage or trace mineral solution. And those are two solutions that I think are beneficial for almost everybody. Okay, so you're going to place those drops under the tongue at the recommended dose shown on the bottle at 2 times a day. You don't want to put the glass, you can see right here that she's dropping it above, and it's not putting it exactly right in the mouth, because you don't want to contaminate this glass dropper here. Okay, so she's just dropping it at a little bit of a distance. I think that's a smart thing to do. Here's some other precautions to take with your homeopathic remedy. Okay, very important. It is best to take without food, toothpaste, or gum. Like all homeopathic remedies, shaking the imprint solution against the palm of your hand for 10 seconds before use markedly increases effectiveness. So you'll pound it on your palm, and that's going to be important for maintaining the energetics and the information that's in that bottle for you. It works much more effectively. Keep the bottle away from electronics, microwave ovens, cell phones, iPads, pagers, magnets, x-rays. The homeopathic imprinted remedy should be continued as long as indicated on the bottle. It's very important because it figures out how long you need to take it, right? Put the ending date in your calendar. At this time, send in your next specimen in your old bottle so we can continue to go deeper to remove the glitches in your software, because most people have multiple layers that need to be cleared, and we want to be able to do a good job for you, so we want to do this over time. Most of the bottles that we send to you, they'll have, they'll usually say 3 weeks or 6 weeks. It's different for everybody, and the Asyra will decide how long it takes to clear that particular level. Just threw this in because I thought this was kind of cool. Precautions again. So I wrote this. The precautions here is stay in the car. Don't try and feed him. Don't make him mad, because it's a thin window, right? Don't look too tasty, and don't stare at him. Here it is. One more thing. There's always one more thing. With your Asyra reading, I may recommend specific remedies different than the imprinted homeopathic or other strategies to improve your overall health and address your chief complaint. So when we do the Asyra, it's going to also tell me what the best nutrition is for you. It's going to also tell me maybe what specific homeopathic remedy you may need. It's going to be very, so it's not just the imprinted remedy that I made for you. There may be other things that it's going to pick up on that you're going to need to do. Okay, and I want to thank you again for watching today. And again, I will send this out to you so you can have this to watch. And if you would like more of these kind of short little videos, let me know. And I will keep coming with these. Okay, thank you.